Greetings adventurers, and welcome to the Loot Goblin Marketplace. I will never understand why people feel the need to lie about their roles at the game table, but some of my most fun moments have come from our party failing. If everyone dies from a series of bad rolls against a minor obstacle, if you have the right group, they find it funny, and it can be a moment that you guys reference a lot in the future. Sometimes though, you may think someone is cheating when in fact they are just really lucky. I feel like everyone can think of a player who just consistently rolls above average at the most fortunate times. You see them roll in the open with some random dice that they didn't even bring, and they're just rolling success after success. I don't know why the dice gods favor some players, but they just do. Other players, and sometimes even the Dungeon Master, get pissed off by this, but I feel like it's just one of those things that makes Dungeons and Dragons that much more memorable. Today's treasure goes by the name DM has decided I'm lying about my rolls because I'm a girl and wants to roll for me the rest of the campaign. Let me start by saying I know it sounds like I'm in the wrong, that he must have a reason to think I'm lying about my rolls so I can succeed or something, but I truly have no idea why he even thinks that I am, because I swear I've never lied about a roll before. So basically, I'm the only girl, 20 female, in my current D&D campaign, but I don't really mind or feel uncomfortable about it since all the guys I play with have been nothing but welcoming and chill towards me. They don't ever treat me any differently and are a great group of guys. My only grievance is that the Dungeon Master has made comments since I started playing with them about how every female he has played with before always lies about their dice rolls so they can impress all the guys and look better / hotter in their eyes, which is a super weird thing to bring up in my opinion. I had just started and had shown no signs of lying about anything, so I was already kind of weirded out that he felt the need to bring it up, but whatever. I kind of just brushed it off and said I played before and that I don't fake dice rolls because that ruins the experience and the risk of the game and my actions, which ruins the game for me and everyone else. The Dungeon Masters seemed to accept that and let it go at the time. However, I have noticed that at least once per session, he will make some comments somewhere along the lines of how females just lie all the time, it's what they're biologically good at, and they all lie in games like this to look sexy to men there. No one at the table really responds when he makes these comments. One of the guys tried once earlier on to mention that that was a sexist and off-topic thing to bring up, but the Dungeon Master got mad at being cut off from sharing personal life experiences and knowledge, so no one has spoken up about it since. This last session was probably the most risky and dangerous situation the party has been in since the start of the campaign, and there were a few times where I had to roll and lives were on the line if I failed. Somehow, I managed to get at least the bare minimum I needed to succeed, needed a 15 or higher in most cases, since I usually had advantage. Everyone else was having similar luck though, so I was just hyped that we were rolling lucky that night. I did also have plenty of horrible rolls. I got 2 nat 1s in a row at one point, so it wasn't as if I was rolling successes the whole session. But the Dungeon Masters seemed to be getting frustrated more and more with each successful roll I announced. He made a comment that I thought at the time was a joke. He chuckled and said it was almost like I was faking it to win with how good my luck was. I had been rolling where everyone could see though, so nothing was hidden. I didn't think there was any concern that I was cheating, so I just laughed and said, yeah, my luck was wild tonight. Then at the end of the session, the Dungeon Master said I had one more save roll to get us out of there, avoiding another fight that would probably end badly for us. I needed a nat 20 or I would fail. One of my party members assisted me, so I had advantage, but the odds of success were still low. I rolled both dice, and by some miracle I did it. I rolled a nat 20 on both dice. It was glorious and everyone was super hyped. The Dungeon Master just looked mad though, and we all joked that he wanted us to fail so he could show off some more characters he made and do more of the fun combat stuff. He kinda chuckled and said it was something like that. The session then ended calmly with us getting back to our keep and getting set up to rest. Then we called it a night, everyone packed up and went our separate ways, assuming that it was the end for the night. I got a message though 2 hours later from the Dungeon Master, and he was telling me he knows I cheated and lied about my dice rolls to look better in front of the guys. He said he was nice enough to not call me out there and embarrass me in front of everyone like he should have, but that he could no longer trust me. He demanded that I give him my dice next session and that from here on out he will be rolling behind his DM screen for me since I am proving to be just like every other female and ruining the game for all the honest guys who are playing with me. There is something that is so off-putting about someone saying I should have done it this way, but because I'm being nice to you you, I'm gonna punish you another way. I actually read a story last week about a girl who didn't trust the new girl because they thought they were trying to manipulate everyone at the table who were all guys. So it's kind of interesting that we're getting 2 stories like this in a row, where it seems like out the gate they're out to hate this girl. If you truly believe that a player is cheating at your table with dice rolls, having them roll in front of everyone's important. Clearly the author's already doing that. So if you want to go a step further, you think there's loaded dice or something really weird, I guess you can bring a dice tower and provide your own dice for everyone to use. I feel like that's not really fun though, because people really like their personal dice. Some people buy certain dice for certain characters because it like matches the aesthetic of the character. 2 nat 20s is unlikely the exact moment that you want them to roll a nat 20. The chances of that happening is less than 1%, but it's not impossible. Yeah, the Dungeon Master is going to use it as like a confirmation that they're cheating, but rolling 15 and up when they're being assisted, when they have advantage in a lot of rolls, the odds of that happening are much higher. In fact, rolling higher than a 15 with advantage seems like would happen quite often at the game table. It's not going to happen every time, but if you're rolling over the course of the session, it's going to happen pretty often. So the fact that the Dungeon Master was suspicious based off that and made them roll like a nat 20 then and there to prove they're not cheating means he kind of already had it out for the author. One last thing before we jump back into the story too, I personally don't like that they're asking for the player's dice and they're going to use their dice behind a DM screen. The Dungeon Master definitely has dice. He doesn't need to confiscate their dice. He's claiming that even though you rolled in the open, you're cheating. So now he's going to roll behind closed doors and you just have to kind of take his word for it that he's rolling legitimately. Not a fan of that at all. Let's continue. I was stunned. I didn't know what to say, so I just told him I had never lied, that I was sharing dice with one of the guys, so they aren't some weighted set or anything. Oh, so it's not even her dice. And that all my rolls were in the open where everyone could easily see. That I could understand he may have had bad experiences in the past with players, but I had done nothing wrong and would not be letting him roll for my character the rest of the campaign. He has yet to respond, but I'm still so insulted that he thought I was cheating or lying. I really like the group I play with. The campaign story is super interesting, so I don't think I'll be quitting, but I certainly am not going to just sit by and roll over ever again, and I don't know what to do in this situation. So originally here I recorded my final thoughts, gave some advice, but I'm gonna have to scratch that and re-record this because there is an edit that later on turns into an update. The edit here is a couple paragraphs, but a lot of it's covered again in the update, so to not repeat myself, I'll give a quick summary. The Dungeon Master had a crush on this player, asked them out over and over again, they dated for a month or 2, they broke it off. It seems like he's still bitter. The girl in this story is 20, but when they dated was a freshman in high school and senior in high school situation. When he tried to use the excuse that all the women that he's dealt with in the past are liars and that's why he can't trust you, it probably would have been important context to mention that you're one of his exes. Definitely helps paint him as someone who's even more biased and bitter than he already came across. But let's see how bad it is in the update. DM has decided I'm lying about my rolls because I'm a girl and wants to roll for me the rest of the campaign. Hey everyone, I said I would be here with an update after my next session, so here I am. I realize I didn't put some background information in, trying to stay anonymous and all, but I have known Dungeon Master and 2 other guys since freshman year of high school, when they were both seniors. And DM has sometimes been a nice guy, but he was never this much like an incel or neckbeard, so this behavior was kind of surprising to us, which is why I think they only spoke up once, and were kind of just confused about it after that. Also, I know the last post I was saying I wouldn't leave the game, but a lot of you got through to me. All advice made me realize that, even though he's a phenomenal storyteller and world builder who can craft these beautifully intricate and engaging worlds and NPCs, even the best stories aren't worth putting up with being mistreated. I'll be honest, because of some of the issues in my past, I tend not to recognize that I don't have to put up with everyone's crap, and that I'm allowed to stand up for myself and leave bad situations. So I really did appreciate everyone helping me realize this was one of those situations, to stand my ground and not back down to any. But anyways, onto the actual update on what happened. How it all went down yesterday was not at all what I expected to happen, to be honest. I had shown all the other guys I played with the messages that DM had sent me. I was clear with them that this was not acceptable, and that either they supported me and got DM to straighten his act up, or I was leaving. I also made it clear that I had nothing against them, that I really liked gaming with them, and would be happy to continue gaming with them with a different Dungeon Master if I had to leave, and that we would still be good friends outside of the game. All of them were appalled by how he had been acting, and the messages seemed to be the final straw that broke the camel's back. After showing them all the messages, they said they had to talk about some stuff, and would get back to me before the next session, but most were clear they were on my side in this matter. One of the guys got back to me the day before the session, and said said that they were all behind me 100%, and they had all been calling the DM out the past 2 weeks since the last session. I guess they were demanding he shape up and explain where this mindset came from and why he's acting like such an ass. Well, I decided that since I have support from the rest of the group, I would go back for the session, but if he made a single comment, I was leaving then and there, just walking out and being done with it all. When I got to the place where we were all meeting, the DM asked us to sit down. He was sounding really uncomfortable and wouldn't look anyone in the eye. He said he wanted to talk to us, but we had to sit down first. Well, he went on about all his past 3 girlfriends, that one had dated him for 2 months before saying she was a lesbian and leaving, that the second one cheated on him with someone from one of his classes, and the third one, which he says was the breaking point for him, asked to join a game he was DMing at his college and ended up hitting it off with one of the guys there and they broke up. He showed us screenshots of the conversations they had leading up to and after each breakup, and honestly, I can see why the guy was pretty crushed about it all. It sucks big time to be cheated on. We did know he had been in those relationships, and I knew that one later came out and that the second one had cheated on him, but no one knew about why the third relationship fell apart. He never wanted to talk about it with anyone, and after each relationship, he went through the stages of mourning the relationship, and we did what we could to support him, but he always seemed to bounce back. And if anyone tried talking to him about it, he was very convincing in telling us that he had been sad for so long enough and he was doing better and was moving on. So none of us really knew the full stories of everything that went down or how it actually affected him. I was honest with him that I was sorry he had been through that, and I did emphasize with him how he was feeling and how he was hurt, but none of it was an excuse for how he'd been treating me or how he had been speaking. That his behavior was still unacceptable and incredibly cruel and hurtful, and it made me feel unsafe to be around him anymore. The other guys at the group backed me up by saying that as shitty as the situation was, it did not excuse or forgive the way he had been acting. They were clearly behind me, which I'll admit was a huge relief. I really like how this conversation was handled by everyone at the table. The Dungeon Master was open and honest. He kind of showed his logic of why he did what he did. Clearly, when he's talking about how all women at the game table lie, he's talking about his third ex. And the rest of the players at the table say, hey, I understand that, but they didn't let him off the hook for it, which I really like. It seems like everyone really respects the Dungeon Master as a friend, and also they love them as a Dungeon Master. So it seems like all parties want this to work out. Now that everyone's talked to each other like adults, we'll see how the table's handled here on out. The DM asked what he had to do to get us to stay, and one of the guys said the main issue would be earning my trust back, and it was up to me to decide what that meant, and that aside from that, the guys had lost trust in the DM in his ability to be fair to all the players at the table, and that he would also have to earn that trust back as well, as a respect for him as a friend. The DM then told me that he had known he was wrong to act and speak like that, and that he had been angry and spiteful because of his past experiences, and because he was hurt that I turned him down each time. He asked me out between his past relationships, and after his last girlfriend broke up with him. He said that he was taking his anger out on me and venting because it was easy to blame me for it. I'll admit, I had fully expected him to go nuclear and be yelling or something when I showed up for the session. I had been fully prepared to take all your advice and leave. I was not prepared for this. We didn't end up having a session that night. The DM said that he would leave for now and let me think if and how he could gain all our trust back. So the DM left, and the other guys and I honestly didn't know what to do about it. We all had a lot to take in, but we still wanted to hang out like we planned for the day. So the rest of the guys and I ordered some Panda Express, watched a movie, and played some board games before parting ways. I haven't talked to them today yet, and they haven't tried to message me. They all are probably just feeling as confused and lost about what to do as I am right now. So I guess that's it for the update for now. I don't know if I'll continue playing in the game or not. I don't know what to tell the DM for how he can earn my trust back and the trust of the other players back. I don't know if he can even earn that trust back with me. I have a lot to think about for now. I'm considering telling him that therapy is a good first step for gaining my trust back. He has always had some really bad anger issues and some other personal things that I believe that therapy could really help him work through. And with all this new stuff, my belief that he could use a good therapist is even stronger now. He has always been off-put by the idea of therapy though, and I remember he was clear he thought it was dumb when I got therapy during my senior year for some traumas I'd been through. But I don't know, maybe this whole situation could be what finally makes him see he can't do it on his own. He already seems to realize that his coping methods are only going to lead him to losing several of his friendships. Sorry it isn't some explosive yelling match with one of us storming out of the room in a dramatic climax of the evening like some of you in the comments were wanting to hear about. I kind of expected to be giving that update, but here we are. I'll keep you updated still still, we're still planning to meet up at the scheduled time in 2 weeks when the next session would be. So the guys and I have 2 weeks now to think and figure things out. So sadly, that is where the updates stop, but once again, I really do feel like this is the best outcome that you can have in a situation where everyone at the table does want to still play together, but tensions have gotten really high. Based on what the author was saying, this Dungeon Master is usually the guy to blow up when confronted, so the fact that he didn't means he really wants this to work as well. I love this RPG horror story for one reason only. Everyone tried talking like adults, they held the person accountable, the person accepted that accountability and asked what he could do to help recover the table. So even though we don't have any clear updates, I actually think there's a pretty good chance that this turned into something great. I know they make a joke that everyone wants the big blow up at the end of the RPG horror story, but as someone who reads a lot of them, trust me, I have read plenty where people blow up. I want a few where people actually have a heart-to-heart and find solutions. Does every D&D group that started in your high school or college end up being your forever group? Not usually, but I always enjoy when I see people who are now out of high school, out of college, still having like their board game and tabletop role-playing game nights. So I really do root for everyone here at the table. As much as I think therapy can be a great tool for people that are open to use it, I don't feel like it really should be a requirement to stay at a game table. I feel like him showing real remorse and asking you what he needs to do to gain your trust back should be something that's much more personal. If you feel like there's something that he can do at the table for you to gain your trust back, I feel like that's the ask you should be sending out. The Dungeon Master claims that they want to change. I actually kind of believe them. Now it's time for you guys to hold his feet to the fire. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments below. Are there things that the DM can do at the game table that would gain both the author and the other players' trust? Obviously, one of the first things you can do at the game table is just let the author roll in front of everyone and just take their word for it. But is there anything else that you guys can think of? If so, put it in the comments. Make sure to like and hype the video. It really helps the channel grow, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Farewell for now. Today's video is brought to you by Chepeku. Even before I made this YouTube channel, I've been using their stuff for my games. They have made my campaign preparation so much easier. You may already support them on Patreon because they make fantastic maps, scenes, and tokens. But did you know that they're all available now for the price of 2 subscriptions in one single bundle? If you go to their website, use the link below to grab the complete fantasy bundle and get 6,000 battle maps, 2,000 fantasy scenes, and over 300 tokens that can be tweaked using their amazing token builder, meaning endless possibilities. You can put together just about any scenario using this bundle in minutes and treat your party to beautiful, hand-drawn assets that will blow them away. If you want to help support the channel, or you just want to use this amazing art on your screen for your next game, click the link in the description below and get the bundle today.